Black screen fades into a slow-motion shot of Paul Sorvino smiling on stage, applauding the audience. In the world of Hollywood, fame often shines brighter than the truth behind it. But behind Paul Sorvino's calm smile was a battle few ever saw. A battle not on the screen, but inside his own body. Pause. This is the story of Paul Sorvino, the legendary actor who faced type 2 diabetes and never gave up. Old clips and photos of Paul acting, eating dinner with family, then slowly showing him looking tired. Paul was known for his commanding voice and powerful performances, from Goodfellas to Law and Order. But off camera, he struggled with fatigue, blurred vision, and weight gain. At first, he ignored the signs. "I'm just getting older," he thought. But diabetes doesn't wait. It crept into his daily life, changing everything. Even the simple joy of sharing a meal became complicated. Somber piano ton. There were moments he felt trapped, frustrated that his body no longer obeyed him. He once said, "I didn't want to live in fear of my own health anymore." Music shifts, faint hopeful tone begins. Show images of Paul at the doctor's office, testing his blood sugar, exercising slowly. One day, Paul decided enough was enough. He met with his doctor, learned about his condition, and began his fight. It wasn't easy. There were setbacks, days of doubt, and nights of worry. But Paul took back control. He changed his diet, walked daily, monitored his blood sugar, and stayed consistent. Inspiring music begins to rise. He realized that diabetes didn't have to define him. He could define how he lived with it. Montage. Paul smiling, cooking healthy food, acting on set again, hugging his family. Paul Sorvino showed the world that real strength isn't about pretending you're invincible. It's about fighting for your health, one day at a time. He used his platform to raise awareness about diabetes, reminding others that early detection and lifestyle changes can make a difference. Pause. Music softens. He turned his pain into purpose and his struggle into strength. Show quote on screen, "You can live fully, even with diabetes. Never give up." To everyone living with diabetes, remember Paul's story. Yes, the road may be tough, but so are you. Pause. You have the power to fight, to heal, and to rise, just like he did. Fade out. Text on screen. Paul Sorvino, a legacy of courage and hope. Music fades to silence. Black screen fades into Paul Sorvino standing backstage, lights shining behind him, breathing deeply before going on stage. In front of the camera, Paul Sorvino was a legend, a man of power, passion, and talent. But behind that calm, confident smile was a private fight he never auditioned for. Pause. A fight against type 2 diabetes. Music deepens. This is not just a story about an actor. It's about a man who learned that true strength isn't found in fame. It's found in facing your toughest battles head-on. Old photos of Paul acting, walking slowly, looking tired during interviews. For years, Paul brushed off the warning signs: constant tiredness, thirst, and sudden weight changes. He thought it was just part of getting older. But one day, the truth hit him hard. He had type 2 diabetes. Soft piano music plays. The diagnosis scared him. His energy dropped, his routines changed, and he often felt powerless. Simple things, walking on set, enjoying family dinners, suddenly felt difficult. He once admitted, "I didn't want to feel weak. I wanted to be strong again." Simple things, walking on set, enjoying family dinners, suddenly felt difficult. He once admitted, "I didn't want to feel weak. I wanted to be strong again." Of Paul in a doctor's office, learning about health, walking outside, cooking healthy meals. But Paul Sorvino was never a man to give up. One morning, looking in the mirror, he decided, "I can do this." He changed his diet. He started walking every. Inspiring music rises. Slowly, the power came back, not from fame or applause, but from discipline and self-care. He proved that managing diabetes isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. Montage. Paul smiling with his family, cooking healthy meals, laughing on set again. Paul began speaking openly about his journey, reminding others that life with diabetes can still be full, meaningful, and joyful. He became an example of courage, showing that strength doesn't fade with age or illness. Pause. Through his story, he inspired countless others to take their health seriously, to face diabetes, not fear it. Sunlight fades over a photo of Paul smiling with the text, "A life of strength and grace." Paul Sorvino's story reminds us all, diabetes may change your life, but it doesn't have to control it. Pause. With determination, care, and hope, you can rise again, stronger than before. Music fades out softly. Never give up. Live fully. Fight bravely. Dramatic music begins. Black screen fades into a slow motion shot of Paul Sorvino smiling on a movie set. Lights shining. Applause in the background. He was powerful, talented, unforgettable. Paul Sorvino, the man who commanded the screen in Goodfellas and Law & Order. But behind that strong voice and calm smile, a silent battle was raging inside him. Pause. A battle not for fame or fortune, but for his health, his life, and his peace. This is Paul Sorvino's story. Soft piano music begins. Show images of Paul walking slowly, looking thoughtful, clips of him eating with family, then sitting tired in a chair. For years, Paul ignored the small signs, the thirst, the fatigue, the blurry vision. He thought it was just age catching up with him. But the truth came suddenly, type 2 diabetes. Pause. The diagnosis changed everything. His diet, his routines, even his confidence. He struggled to balance his busy career with his new health challenges. Some days were filled with frustration. But Paul never let it define him. He once said, "I don't want this disease to take away my joy. I still have work to do, stories to tell." Music shifts. Light drums and soft strings build hope. Show Paul meeting his doctor, testing his blood sugar, walking in the park. One morning, Paul made a decision. He was done feeling helpless. It was time to fight back. He started learning about food, exercise, and how to manage his blood sugar. He took charge of his meals, began daily walks, and found strength through discipline. Pause. It wasn't easy, but step by step, he took control of his life again. Inspiring music rises. He showed that managing diabetes isn't about perfection. It's about perseverance, about choosing hope, even when it's hard. Show Paul smiling with family, cooking, laughing on set, signing autographs. Over time, Paul began to feel stronger, not just in body, but in spirit. He shared his story openly, reminding others that diabetes is not the end of the road. It's a new beginning, a call to live smarter, love deeper, and fight harder. His journey inspired thousands to take their health seriously, to not be afraid of change. Pause. He proved that even in struggle, there is power, purpose, and pride. Inspiring orchestral music swells. Show Paul Sorvino on screen, smiling. Text fades in, a legacy of courage. Paul Sorvino's story isn't just about an actor. It's about a man who refused to give up. A man who showed the world that diabetes can be managed with courage, care, and hope. Pause. To everyone living with diabetes, remember this. You are not alone. You are stronger than you think. And every step you take toward better health is a victory. Music fades softly. Screen text. Paul Sorvino. Strength, hope, and legacy. Dramatic music plays softly. Fade in. Paul Sorvino standing under bright stage lights, smiling at a cheering audience. He was a Hollywood legend, strong, confident, and larger than life. Music changes to a hopeful tone. Show Paul meeting his doctor, testing his blood sugar, walking outside with determination. Then came the turning point. One morning, looking in the mirror, Paul said to himself, "I can't let this beat me. I'm stronger than this." He learned how to live with diabetes, not against it. He started eating better, moving more, and keeping a close watch on his health. It wasn't easy. There were ups and downs, victories and setbacks. But Paul's spirit never broke. Inspiring music rises. Every day, he chose discipline over despair, hope over fear. Montage. Paul smiling with his family, cooking healthy meals, performing again, greeting fans. And soon, the change was clear. He felt stronger, happier, more alive. He began to speak openly about his journey, encouraging others to take control of their health. Paul proved that diabetes doesn't have to end your dreams. It can reshape them. He showed millions that with care and consistency, life can still be full of love, laughter, and light. Pause. Through his story, he became not just an actor, but an inspiration. Inspiring orchestral music swells show Paul Sorvino's smiling face fading into a sunrise. Paul Sorvino's journey reminds us that strength isn't just about power on screen. It's about courage in real life. He faced his challenges with grace and determination. To everyone living with diabetes, remember Paul's story. You're not your diagnosis. Pause. You are your fight, your hope, and your courage. Music fades to silence. On-screen text. Paul Sorvino, a legacy of strength and hope. Dramatic music begins. Fade in. Paul Sorvino standing backstage before show. The lights are bright, the audience claps, and he smiles, but there's a heaviness in his eyes. He was the man with a commanding voice, a powerful presence, and a heart full of passion. Paul Sorvino, a name Hollywood will never forget. But what the world didn't see was the private battle There were days he felt frustrated, even defeated. The fatigue, the medication, the new diet, it all felt overwhelming. But Paul Sorvino was never one to give up. He decided that if life gave him a new script, he would write his own ending. Music shifts, slow, steady, hopeful rhythm begins. Show Paul at the doctor's office, learning, taking notes, walking outside with determination. He learned about his condition, how food, exercise, and mindset could change everything. He started walking daily, watching his meals, and keeping his blood sugar in check. Each day he fought back, one choice, one step, one victory at a time. Inspiring music rises. Slowly, he began to feel stronger. He wasn't just managing diabetes. He was mastering it. Montage. Paul laughing with his family, cooking healthy meals, performing on stage again. Through it all, Paul Sorvino showed the world that true strength isn't in fame or power. It's in perseverance. He spoke openly about his journey, reminding others that diabetes isn't the end of the story. It's just a new chapter. Pause. Music softens. His courage became a light for others, proof that hope is stronger than fear. Inspiring orchestral music swells. Show a photo of Paul smiling warmly as sunlight fills the frame. Paul Sorvino's legacy is more than his films. It's his strength, his fight, and his message to everyone living with diabetes. Pause. You are not your diagnosis. You are your courage. So, to everyone watching, keep going. Take care of yourself. And never stop believing that you can rise, just like Paul did. Music fades out. On-screen text. Paul Sorvino, a life of strength, courage, and hope. Dramatic music plays. The screen fades from black to a shot of Paul Sorvino walking onto a movie set, smiling confidently. The lights hit his face as he takes a deep breath. He was a Hollywood legend, powerful, graceful, and unforgettable. Paul Sorvino, the man who brought characters to